Welcome to the Week in Geek, your new comics preview for July 20th. I'm Mike Ortiz.
And I'm the Chris Brown.
So what you got this time?
All right, you know what? I'm going to start here. Let's start with little Fear Itself FF. I think this should be kind of fun. It's done by that, was it Cullen Bunn? Or Cullen Bunn. You know, he's been doing some interesting stuff over at Marvel now. He usually does, what, Six Gun?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Six Gun for Oni.
Yep. So I'm kind of looking forward to this. I mean, this should be interesting. It's going to have, obviously, Ben Grimm in there doing his thing with the hammer. And, you know, I don't know that I've found, as I've said before, Fear Itself to be super interesting. It seems like the other things are where more of the story's going on.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to see how this thing shakes out. Then we've got the Avengers, Fear Itself, and I think this has also been pretty good. Like, they're basically just kind of telling the story of how everything's shaken out, and this is the stuff with Chris Pacello's artwork, which just looks phenomenal. So, yeah, that should be pretty all right. Which then brings us to a Marvel book that I've been pretty excited about, and we have not talked positively about a Daredevil book.
It's been a long time.
In quite some time. We've got, here comes Daredevil #1 by Mark Waid and who's doing the artwork on that? Marcos Martin, right? His artwork, I think, is just, or what are they saying, penciler? Oh, Paulo Rivera?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought Marcos Martin was going to be on this.
I think they're alternating arcs.
Okay.
They both draw pretty much the same.
It is very similar, but it is a little different. We got the Spot in this first issue, so that should be pretty cool. The art looks great.
Yeah.
Looks really, really fun. I did kind of flip through the beginning, and it looks like it's kind of, it's rehashing the origin a little. You know, kind of stepping up, getting you, you know, to a place where you feel comfortable to read Daredevil. Because it had stunk up the joint there for the last couple of years. Or that's like last year.
And this is going back to a kind of a more superhero-y, a little less gritty crime drama, kind of a pre-Kevin Smith, maybe even pre-Frank Miller Daredevil.
Oh, here we go. So here's another second story by Marcos Martin in the back.
Okay.
A bonus tale. There we go. And they do look very similar, but his stuff is...
A return to form for Daredevil.
That should be cool.
Absolutely fantastic cover.
Yeah, and there are a couple of variants, too, and there's one that Marcos Martin did that looks really great. Then, all right, here we go. Here's everybody's favorite part of the show each week.
The blank cover should have been Braille. Why didn't they
It should have been Braille. That's a good question. Marvel, come on. Really? Get it together. Then now we got up here is the Flashpoint stuff, as I've been going on and on about every week. Flashpoint, Dead Man and the Flying Graysons. I liked that first issue. Thought it was pretty good. The artwork looks pretty solid. It's been a fun book. I like the Dead Man character in general, and he's not really the Dead Man we know yet. He's still the kind of jerk-off.
He's still alive.
He's the live man in a Dead Man costume. Should be pretty good. I really liked that first issue, so I'm curious to see where this part of Flashpoint is going. Then we got Legion of Doom with a crazy, psychotic-looking Plastic Man on the cover.
You don't want a crazy Plastic Man.
No! Look at those crazy teeth. He looks like Venom.
Bad news.
It's like Plastic Venom. That's what we got going on here. That's a little psychotic. He's going after Animal Man. So, yeah, the first issue was good, but it just mostly followed, who was that? Was that Heat Wave or...
I didn't read it.
I don't remember who the villain was that it was following, but it was okay. But it looks like we're going to kind of, each issue is going to go into a different villain and do something different. So I'm looking forward to see where this one ends up going. And again, Psychotic Plastic Man is fun. Then The Outsider. Outsider is fighting Black Adam. First issue was pretty good. It just kind of sets up this character as a threat to the rest of the world and kind of, you know, a bad, scary dude. And kind of a lonely dude in isolation, and here now something's going on where he's going to get in a little fight with Black Adam here. So that should be pretty cool. What's Black Adam up to in the Flashpoint?
I don't know. That's a good question. Because the Shazam thing is totally different there.
Yeah.
The Captain Marvel, Captain Thunder.
Yeah. So what's up with Black Adam? And then Wonder Woman and the Furies. That first issue was great, kind of set up why the feud's going on. It was essentially the assassination that occurred during the marriage. And now it looks like we're kind of getting a little more into the war here. We got some Aquaman going on, a little fight going on. So that should be pretty cool. It seems like a lot of these titles, like the Deathstroke and the Wonder Woman, they are all telling almost the same story. You know, really with this war and I guess the things that are going on in the high seas.
Right.
You know, everything else is taking its own angle and just this is going on in the world. But some of this other stuff is literally telling you that battle. And I think it's cool.
The main book is really just telling Barry Allen's story.
Correct.
And the rest of it is revealing what this world is like.
Right. Well, and while it's revealing what the world is like, not all of it, like some of it are in its own corners, it feels like. And the Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Deathstroke, and even that Lois Lane, they all feel like they go together.
Yeah.
Like they should almost have Superman triangle numbers on them so you know how to read them. Let's see here. You know what? I'm just going to jump to the next one I got in my pile here. I am pretty excited about this Sergio Aragone's Funnies. Just talking to a friend today about the old Mad Magazine stuff, and that's what this reminds me of. I mean, it was Sergio was doing all that great stuff when I was a kid reading Mad Magazine. And, then he went on, obviously, and did Gru and all that. But all these quick little short stories, the cartooning is the stuff that I really, really like. And so I think this should be fun. It's Sergio Aragone's. I guarantee you I'm going to laugh. Followed by, oh yeah, Tiny Titans, Young Bizarro's in Love. Oh, look at that. Bizarro and Bizarro Supergirl. Just adorable. As we've said before, this is a great book for that younger set, the 3 to 5 year olds. But it also, there are lots of people that like this book. While it is certainly a gateway kind of for the younger kids to be able to get into and read comics, it is fun for the adults to read it to them.
Yeah.
And I don't even have any kids to read it to, and I think this book's hilarious.
You couldn't have a book that better fits the term all ages than Tiny Titans.
Agreed. Oh, yeah. I don't want to put that one there. I won't put that one. Move a little. Next up, we have Witch Doctor. I like this book. It's got like a really creepy vibe to it. It feels like some of that old, Bernie Wrightson creepy kind of stuff, except it's in color. But I really like the art. It has that old 70s monster feel to me. Really just weird stuff. This doctor dealing with kind of a cult phenomenon, and like in the first issue, I think they were doing something with like a monster. Basically, they had this zombie monster tied down, and they were trying to not talk to the person, but they were trying to talk to the infection that was making him a monster.
Wow.
And then coercing this weird entity out of him. It was cool. Then we have The Walking Dead. This book's been good. Some fun stuff happens in this one. The last page is another one of those, oh crap. Like, and he does that a lot. Kirkman has a great way of doing that. This book is definitely ramping up to some things, and that last page is, oh my. Something that we've been waiting to see kind of ends up happening, but as Kirkman always does, turns it on its ear. It's not what you were expecting. And I really like that. This just a phenomenal book. Cannot say enough good things about Walking Dead, and I'm sure you guys are all really looking forward to that, as you should be. That's the bulk of my stack. What are you looking at there?
Well, I'm starting off with X-Men number 15. This is the end of the storyline with X-Men versus, I guess, the Evolutionary or the Evolutionaries.
Okay.
This has been a really interesting storyline, and I'm wondering if part of it doesn't factor into Schism.
Okay.
Because there is a secret from the X-Men's past that is going to be revealed. Scott apparently did something or made some deal with this entity in the past, and now it's affecting things today. We don't know what that is. In the last issue, we see Emma Frost in an insane asylum. Magneto breaks her out. So there's a story going on in 2 time periods. One set during the very beginning of the X-Men, one set today. However they resolved things in the past is causing problems in the present. So I always like stories that play around like that.
Oh, sure.
Also in the mutant world is Uncanny X-Men. This is a Fear Itself tie-in. What was kind of interesting, and people have often commented and joked about how often the X-Men are sitting out some of the big events. And in Fear Itself, certainly up until, except for this, you're not seeing a lot from the mutant universe. And they actually address this, where the mayor of San Francisco says, hey, all the heroes are kind of freaking out and going crazy, and all this is going on, and nothing's happening with you guys. That's making people think that you're behind it. So, which I thought was kind of a clever way to tie this in. And then while all this is going on, Juggernaut, who's a mutant, shows up with one of his hammers and starts laying waste to things, and the X-Men basically go, See, just hadn't gotten to us yet. So this is continuing that, the X-Men versus a souped-up Juggernaut.
All right.
Ultimate Fallout 2, I guess this is a weekly series. This one is continuing the storyline of the Ultimate Universe after Spider-Man's death. Ultimately, it's going to reveal the new Spider-Man. Last issue was the funeral of Peter Parker. You know, Bendis can write a very touching scene. I mean, the stuff.
Agreed.
There was a scene in there where May sees a young child on the way to the funeral, and there's hundreds of people, thousands of people who've shown up, and the little girl basically says, you know, Spider-Man saved my life. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. And May really understands at that point that all of these people need to pay their respect. All the people whose lives he had saved. So really, it's doing a good job of showing how the Ultimate Universe is going to deal with the loss of, you know, one of its biggest heroes. Next up is Hellblazer. You know, this is actually issue 281. Once Uncanny X-Men gets its new #1, this will be the longest running Marvel or DC book that has not gotten a number change, has not gotten a reboot. Been going on basically over 20 years now. It's a great book. I've said it many times. You can jump on in a lot of places. They're all done in story arcs. They kind of build off of one another, but for the most part, you can jump on at any point. Certainly, you can jump on anytime there's a writer change. So if you haven't been checking out Hellblazer and you want to give it a shot, find wherever the next story arc starts. I don't know if that's this issue. I don't think this is this. It's not this issue. This is part 5, so don't start here.
Probably the next one after.
So yeah, start next issue. It's a good book, a horror book. Unless you want to go and hunt down back issues or something. Next up, another Fear Itself tie-in. This is the Hulk, Red Hulk, continuing. I've said this is a really enjoyable book. It's strange stuff has been going on. There's stuff with MODOK.
Do you like some MODOK?
The
He's
red
a floating head,
big giant head. How can you beat that? The Red Hulk's turned out to be an interesting character. I'm concerned that this book is not long for the world because I think they are going to be rebooting the Hulk. Otherwise, they wouldn't be getting rid of Incredible Hulk. So I'm going to enjoy this while it lasts.
All right.
Next up is Captain America Corps #2. I actually haven't read #1 yet, but I flipped through it, and it's got Captain America from a variety of different time periods. It looks like it's the original Captain America from the very first issue, where he's got the triangle shield, teaming up with Bucky Cap, plus a Cap from the future, and all kinds of other stuff. There's Watchers in it. There's some weird cross-time thing. And whenever you've got a storyline that brings a variety of characters from different time frames together, usually it's because something's threatening the cosmos or whatever. And there was a Watcher in it, so it's got to be a big deal. You know, with the movie coming out in just a couple of days, you know, I'm all about some Captain America.
Absolutely, as am I.
USA. Speaking of movies, we got the War of the Green Lanterns Aftermath. Some stuff went down.
That was huge last issue. Books. Holy shnikes.
I'm not gonna spoil it for you in case you haven't read it yet.
Get on that.
This follows that up, and certainly where we begin with the new #1 in September is going to be an interesting place.
Agreed.
So if you've been getting War of the Green Lanterns, why would you not get the last part? That makes no sense to me. So get it. Yep. Next up, Rocketeer Adventures #3. I've been loving this book. It's an anthology book. Great artists. This has got Bruce Timm, Ryan Sook, Tommy Lee Edwards. I mean, that alone should tell you enough.
Yeah.
It's a 4-issue series, I believe, so it's not going to be this huge, long commitment. So if you've ever liked The Rocketeer, if you like old kind of pulp heroes, if you like throwbacks, if you like great art, this has got all of it. And then I've got Batman Gates of Gotham. This is the Scott Snyder, Kyle Higgins book. This has been a really good book. Set kind of, it gives you a little bit of the history of Gotham, but then there's also a mystery going on in the present. I've got 2 books this week that kind of play around with the past and the present. But it works really well. It's giving you some good insight into Gotham, as well as just being a really engaging story. This is the Dick Grayson Batman. But it's also got Red Robin in here, so it's kind of a good Batman family book with a lot of Batman supporting cast. But a great book. Scott Snyder's going to be moving on to the regular Batman series with the relaunch. So if you want to check out his take on Batman, check this out. Check out Detective. So what's your top?
All right, my topic is something we've been waiting on for a little while here. Well, those of us who've been waiting have been waiting for a little while. Lock and Key Clockworks #1. This one, if you are not reading Lock and Key, the question I ask is, why the hell not? It is a fantastic story. No superheroes. It's one of those creator-owned books, but really, really well done. It's done by Joe Hill, written by Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son. And that's something that he doesn't really put right out there because he wanted to be known as a writer of his own merit. And he deserves it. The guy is freaking fantastic. It sort of follows the Locke family, and after a family tragedy, they move into the old Key House, where Dad and his brother used to live and grew up at. And there are these keys that are around the house that they hold the sense of magic and wonder, but only for kids. And now we're going to go back in time to when the house was essentially built, and kind of the original story behind these keys and this property, and perhaps that evil entity that's trying to get some stuff. I mean, so it's going to be a story in the past, but I have a feeling it's going to be a hell of a tale because Joe Hill's doing a great job fleshing out the story of these keys and of this great evil and all of this other great, fantastic stuff. So that is the first part of that. And I am really excited about it. And I'm wondering, I mean, because it is a story in the past, it might even be a decent jumping on point where you to just pick it up. You'd probably be okay, but then you're going to want to go back and start at the beginning.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the pilot for the TV show didn't get picked up. Hopefully it'll be released somehow. Maybe somebody else will pick it up. We'll see.
What's even more unfortunate that the pilot wasn't picked up was part of the reasoning for why it was not picked up. The network said outright it was too smart and they didn't know what to do with it. That, you know what, that should make all of you very upset that for the most part the networks don't think you're smart enough to watch a good show. That's why we get so much crap. And we get so much crap we just sort of accept it. And then ultimately leads the networks to believe we're not smart enough for better programming. And it is too bad, but maybe that can have some sort of a life afterwards. Yeah. Maybe the DVD does well, and then maybe someone wants to go back and really try and do it. So we shall see. What do you got there?
Well, my top pick, there's actually 3 of them. I'm doing the DC retroactive
Those look
issues
fun.
From the 1970s. We've got Batman by Len Wein and Tom Mandrake, Wonder Woman by Denny O'Neil and Jay Bone, and Flash by Cary Bates, Benito Gallego, and Sal Buscema. All 3 of these writers were writers who wrote the books in the past. Len Wein, I don't know if he wrote during the 70s. He may have written a little bit later. But they're all done in the style of books from that time period. And then they have a backup reprinting an actual comic from that time period.
Cool. The covers look great, too.
I'm all about...
I mean, that Wonder Woman literally looks like a cover from that time period.
Yeah, they've done a great job. I mean, they're even all printed on a matte paper. It's not the glossy paper. And it's not quite newsprint.
And the Flash is fighting Gorilla Grodd.
Yes.
Oh, monkeys.
So I mean, they're not priced like they were in the 70s. They're $4.99 a piece. They're doing.
They're not even priced like they are in the aughts.
Right. They're doing a 70s and 80s and a 90s. All of them basically are kind of in between issues. So if you like old comics, or if you are just feeling kind of nostalgic, or if you want to read the kind of comics that people read in the days before Comic Shop, at least with the 70s, give these a shot. It's some good stuff. You know, if you've never read, if you're a younger reader, if you're a newer person, you've never read this stuff, give it a shot. It's a little bit different, but it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and you won't be bogged down by real continuity. You can just pick up an issue and read it.
Right, and there's a few other notable things this week that we haven't necessarily got on our lists. The Metal Men, the DC, the DC Comics Presents.
Yep.
This is reprinting the Metal Men backups from the Doom Patrol, which were done by Keith Giffen and Kevin Maguire. So if you were someone like me who actually liked the backup and didn't like the main feature and wound up dropping it, you can get them all collected into one spot. We've also got the Overstreet Price Guide came out this week. So if you're someone who's looking to price your books, and they're always just a great a great amount of comics history and information, and it's just an absolutely fantastic resource.
Agreed. And I think with that, that is your Week in Geek.